in beating the Angels. Today, it's time to think pink as the Astros look to escape from L.A. with a series win. A Mother's Day matinee, California style, next on Root Sports. This afternoon from Anaheim, California, it's the final game of this four-game series between the Houston Astros and the LA Angels. Scott Feldman goes to the mound against the Halos' hard-throwing righty, Garrett Richards. Hi, everybody. Alan Ashby and Jeff Blum with you. The Astros have taken two of the first three in the series. Last night, unusual stuff as the Astros wound up walking Mike Trout to get to Albert Pujols for the final out of the game. Think you'll see that one again?
Well, we probably will. If it happens today and they need to get that W, they may walk Mike Trout because he's had a hot series and he's swinging a hot bat, obviously.
Well, one of the things the Astros have relied on this year has been the power game. They lead the league in home runs. They hit three more last night, and it was the heart of the order really getting it done.
Yeah, it was good to see, and that's the AT&T Rewind, is those 2 through 6 hitters who did a great job last night. Of course, it was Altuve hitting in that 2-hole with Marisnik at the top of the lineup, drove that ball out of the ballpark, set the tone early for those Houston Astros. And then it was Chris Carter. We haven't seen much pop from him, but look for that bat to get going. Drove that ball out the other way, which was a great sign. And Colby Rasmus, you hang something out over the plate. This young man's going to barrel it up. 2-run jack for him. Ended up being a 6-run game for the Houston Astros, backing up Dallas Keuchel's strong performance.
Coming up, the Astros are definitely in the pink after picking up their 20th win last night. But just how good have Altuve and company been? Kevin Eschenfelder explains why the Astros have plenty to celebrate this Mother's Day when we return.
Literally not a cloud in the sky on a gorgeous Mother's Day afternoon as the Astros looking to take 3 out of 4 from the Halos. Kevin Eschenfelder back with you here in Anaheim, and a happy Mother's Day to you. Last night, the Astros got their 20th win of the season to run the record to 20-11, so we thought it might be fun to look back at some of the past Astro teams and find out exactly where this one stacks up against others. This moment in history is brought to you by M.D. Anderson. Best records through 31 games in Astros history, 73, 98, and 2004. Those clubs all were 20-11. 73 team went on to win 82 games. The Cesar Cedeno hit 320 with 25 home runs for that club. 98 was the best team in franchise history with 102 wins. 2004, they went on to the NLCS, losing to the St. Louis Cardinals. By the way, the 2005 World Series team, I thought it might be interesting to find out where they were 31 games in. Not very good. 12-19 after 31 games. Of course, that club with that incredible finish to the season that ended up in the World Series. By the way, 20th win last year came on May 26th. Back in 2013, they didn't get their 20th win until June the 2nd. Garrett Richards will be on the mound today for the Halos. Astros playing with a bit of house money. Worst they can come away from this is a split of this 4-game series. To get you ready for first pitch, let's head up to the booth to Alan Ashby.
All right, thanks a lot, Kevin. So, Blummer, what does it all mean? 20 wins, 11 losses this stage of the year. Does it mean anything for the ball club?
It's TBD, to be determined. We got to wait and see. It's early in the season. Played a lot of division opponents. They get to go break out and play against some of the AL East teams this upcoming trip and homestand, so we get to really see where these guys are at. But for the time being, they're beating up on their own division, which is a good thing because they're going to finish the season doing the same thing, hopefully.
You know, the record requires 162 games, so what you win at the beginning of the year is just as important as the middle or the end of the season. I wonder, though, if these wins at the beginning of the year for this club that has had recent years of struggle might mean something extra that can give them some strength over the course of the long haul.
Yeah, I think the confidence is going to bode well for these guys, and hopefully it's something they can carry throughout the course of the season. But I agree with you. Winning early and often for this ball club, considering the moves they made in the offseason, is paramount.
Yeah, and I think as you look at the standings right now, though I don't know that the Astros spend a lot of time dwelling on standings like this. The Angels in second place, 6 games back. In Seattle, the team that so many people thought was going to be the team to contend this year in the American League West. Those teams have a lot of ground to make up, and it can be made up quickly. But I think at the same time, the Astros can take this early lead and have it build that confidence for the club. So there's Colby Rasmus and company. Jose Altuve has been swinging it very well for the club. And that lineup now for the Astros brought to you by Southwest Airlines in Game 4 of this 4-game series. For A.J. Hinch today, it's Jake Marisnick for a second straight day in the top spot, followed by Jose Altuve, who homered in yesterday's ballgame, and Luis Valbuena is the 3-hitter. Middle 3 in the order, Chris Carter, he's at first base. Colby Rasmus has been a power source. He's in right and doing the catching. Jason Castro, the bottom 3 in the order. Marwin Gonzalez at short. The DH today is Preston Tucker, and in left field getting a start is Robbie Grossman.
On the mound for the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, it's going to be Garrett Richards. Take a look at the young man. Had that devastating knee injury last year, working his way back. He's got good numbers in only 4 starts this season. 2.52 ERA. Last time he was out there against those Houston Astros was back in Houston. He went 5 innings, gave up 4 runs, 3 of those earned. Took the loss in that game. He's going to pitch primarily with that fastball cutter. He throws firm to quite firm, so get that bat ready if you're an Astro hitter. Fastball, slider, curve. But he's going to come at you with all of his noise that he's got in that big right arm. Got a moment. We're going to take a look around the Big A. Matt Joyce out there in left. Mike Trout, of course, in center. Cole Calhoun in right. On the left side, David Freese back out there at third base. Eric Ibar at short. Johnny Giavotella at second base. C.J. Cron out there at first, and Chris Iannetta back behind home plate, working with Garrett Richards.
So here we go, set to work it here. Beautiful Mother's Day afternoon in Southern California. Kevin mentioned the cloudless skies. As the first pitch sails up and in on Jake Marisnick.
It's not a very nice Mother's Day opening pitch.
A little bit of a wake-up call to get things started.
He's trying to hit the ball.
Yeah, if you're Jake Marisnick, that might get the blood flowing a bit. 73 degrees here this afternoon. Can it get better? Hard to say. It's a ball and a strike now. Jake Marisnick off to a great start on his year. .330, and he is one of the big difference makers for this ball club. I would think in terms of why they have been able to pick up 20 wins in their first 31 games.
Yeah, unexpected catalyst. No, the talent's there, but the defense is primarily why he was sent out there to center field, and that bat has been a huge bonus, especially with the middle of the order scuffling the way it has.
Now 3-1. You see Marisnick with that pink Mother's Day bat, as most of the guys use on Mother's Day. Did you have any particular success or failure with the pink bats?
No, I used them a couple times and got a hit with one, didn't get a hit with one. It wasn't anything either way. It was just a nice way to honor all the moms out there and support breast cancer. I think it's a great move by Major League Baseball, and Louisville Slugger, I think, was a company who started that. It's a fantastic thing, and it's even graduated into shoes, but wristbands, sleeves now.
Count runs full, and then Marisnick draws the walk. So he reaches to get things started here this afternoon. It brings up Jose Altuve.
I wonder if that running game is going to be a little bit different with Chris Iannetta behind home plate and not Carlos Perez in the last couple games, who shut that running game down.
Carlos Perez showing a great arm quickness, accuracy from behind the plate. The Astros unable to run at all, as Jeff Blum talks about. And so we'll see if the strategy changes now. The Astros continue to lead the American League in stolen bases. They lead in home runs. And last night, 3 big home runs to charge the offense. Altuve gets the head out with that pink bat and fouls it down the left side.
He was on the attack, trying to put a charge into another one. Saw him with that big home run last night.
He pulled that home run down the left field side, and it was out by a good margin. He was 1 for 3 in last night's game, 5 hits here in the series. Game 2 was a 3 for 4 game for Jose, a 1 hopper to third. Will they get 2? They will not, as a good hard slide from Marisnick maybe breaks up that bid.
Not a comfortable feeling as a second baseman, knowing you get a high chopper hit on the left side of the diamond. You got to go to the bag and hold your ground. Make sure you make the catch, stay on the bag, and you got a guy in Marisnick who's no small man coming in there full bore.
So that puts Altuve aboard. And of course, Altuve very much a threat to run. The Astros as a team have stolen 36, caught 9 times, 3 of those right here in the series. Richards holds onto the baseball and then steps off. Of those 39 stolen bases, or make that 36 stolen bases as a club, Jose Altuve leads with 11. George Springer, who's on the DL now, that concussion DL, 7 days, is second with 10. There's a slide step, and Valbuena swings through it.
96 miles an hour.
This guy's got all the stuff.
Gas.
Talking about a big-time star in terms of velocity and everything he brings.
He averages 95 miles an hour on both his fastball and his cut fastball.
And this one's hammered right field, back at the wall. And just with room now to make the play is Calhoun. Valbuena missed just enough on this drive. He flies out to right field, second out in the inning. It brings up Chris Carter.
Good quick bat from Valbuena. Not sure. My initial thought was that he got maybe just in a little bit towards the label a little bit. Just a hair. If that's about an inch further towards the barrel, that ball's launched. Did a good job of turning on it. Disappointment, full deflation.
Turns you flat-footed, doesn't it?
Completely.
With 2 outs, Altuve at first, Carter at the plate, and Chris Carter launched a home run in last night's game, opposite field. In that first start on the year that Jeff Blum talked about for Garrett Richards, it was against the Astros. He lasted just 5 innings and needed 100 pitches to get through those 5. Altuve with the lead and edging And this one gets on by Iannetta. Now we'll see if they call this a wild pitch or pass ball. Certainly a catchable ball.
It's got to be a pass ball, doesn't it?
They have called it a wild pitch.
Wow.
Yeah, it looked to me like a ball that should have been, if not caught, at least knocked down.
Well, don't you know as a catcher, the guy you're catching that day has a pretty powerful cut fastball?
You would think so.
Maybe give it a little extra effort when you see that ball breaking away.
There's been a lot of talk about Carlos Perez and how good he's been, and so Iannetta with the quiet bat to start the season might be in jeopardy of a lot of playing time here soon. 1 ball and 1 strike on Carter. Chris now with 5 home runs after that dinger last night. 12 RBIs on the year. And we talked about it. Last night, May 9th. It was May 9th a year ago that saw Carter hit his 5th home run. And he had actually played a game or 2 more at that point, so are 37 home runs a possibility this year? You'd have to say yes.
Well, it'd be easy to predict when he's going to hit his next home run if we had the day-by-day home runs from last year. We could just predict them now, because that's a couple times he's done that so far this year.
That's exactly right. Yeah, I think we talked about home run number 3 might have been.
Well, I think home run number 1 and then number 3 we saw on that same road trip.
Down on strikes, Chris Carter. That'll do it. 1 strikeout in the frame for Garrett Richards as he gets through it, scoreless after a half.
Had lunch with her today, and she gets to watch me pitch tomorrow, so hopefully can give her a nice Mother's Day present.
Scoreless game after a half an inning of play, and we certainly wish all the moms out there a happy Mother's Day. It's a gorgeous day in Southern California, and hope you're enjoying one yourself wherever you happen to be. Scott Feldman hits the mound tonight, or this afternoon I should say.
Making his 7th start of this season. Last time he was out there got roughed up in that game against Texas, only going 3 innings, shortest outing of the season for him. The last time he was out there, faced these Los Angeles Angels, pitched quite well, 6 innings, giving up 2 earned runs, striking out 3. So yeah, it would be a nice little gift on Mother's Day. Go out there and pitch a great game, have a great getaway flight back to Houston.
So Scott set to work it. Shift on here as we get started. Cole Calhoun at the plate. Shift has been employed on Calhoun throughout the series, and yet Calhoun continues to sting balls toward left field. By the way, a rematch of that first start of the year for Garrett Richards as Scott Feldman pitched and won in that game. That was his first win on the year. 0-1 the count. A little half swing going through Calhoun. It just looks to me like he's set up trying to hit the ball toward left field.
4 for 13 in the series is Calhoun. Yeah, And as a leadoff guy, usually those 1-2 guys in the order are guys that can handle the bat a little bit, trying to get on base. And I'm sure he's taking it upon himself to try and go the other way to set the table for guys behind him.
And he takes strike 3. Caught looking Calhoun. First out of the afternoon recorded by Feldman via the punch-out. And now that starting lineup for the LA Angels of Anaheim. Mike Scioscia, their longtime and outstanding skip, has Cole Calhoun, followed by Mike Trout and Albert Pujols. Middle 3, Matt Joyce, David Freese, and Eric Ibar. In the bottom 3, Johnny Giavotella, C.J. Cron, and Chris Iannetta. And now the man stands in, Mike Trout. Boy, the respect paid to Mike Trout last night in walking him to put 2 men on base. And Trout represented the winning run at first base at the time as Albert Pujols came to the plate.
That time it worked out. But again, it's not a typical act in the game of baseball to see somebody walk to get Albert Pujols.
Here's a drive to the gap in right center, but getting there quickly is Colby Rasmus. And out number 2.
Let's take a look at that defense. It's been playing great for the Houston Astros. Scott Feldman utilizing them. Robbie Grossman's out there in left, Marisnick in center, Rasmus in right field. Across the infield, Luis Valbuena at third, Marwin Gonzalez and Jose Altuve at the middle. At first base, Chris Carter and Jason Castro back behind home plate working with Scott Feldman this afternoon.
Scoring changed quickly. It's now a pass ball charge to the catcher Iannetta, allowing Altuve to move into second base. And the first pitch from Feldman, taken for a strike by Sir Albert Pujols. DH here this afternoon. Pujols hitting .239. It's been a slow start, and yet he still has pop in the bat. 5 home runs, 12 ribbies. The shift on with 3 infielders on the left side. We've seen in the past Albert Pujols just take advantage of the right side. Outfield deep, pretty much straight away as the ground ball goes left side, and there's Valbuena. He's been a vacuum here in the series, and that'll do it. A 1-2-3 first inning. We've played an inning and we're scoreless. Pure low fare right now at southwest.com. And by Jack in the Box. Jack's hottest sandwich is back. Head to Jack in the Box for Jack's Blazin' Chicken Sandwich. We go to the second inning. We've got moms on hand and the kids. Jeff Blum's wife and daughters all at the ballpark, regaled beautifully, and really nice to see them. And I hope it's a happy Mother's Day for Corey and for everyone here.
I hope so too. Moms are great. Key to success for a lot of families starts with the mom.
We played one scoreless inning. Colby Rasmus leads off here in the Astros second. He'll be followed by Jason Castro and Marwin Gonzalez. And I certainly want to wish a happy Mother's Day to Catherine back at home. 0-1 the count. 250 the batting average for Colby. And as we see with so many hitters, the shift on, 3 infielders on the right side. Colby has been a guy that hasn't conceded to the shift. He just goes ahead and takes his hacks. And he has taken advantage with 6 long balls on the year. He was one of the 3 Astros with home runs last night. The Astros have taken games 1 and 3 here in the series. The Angels behind Jared Weaver, who threw a shutout in game 2, able to win that one. Slow ground ball on the right side. It's the shortstop, Ibar, with the play. So it's 6-3 on the putout, out number 1.
Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in today's game. Brought to you by Miller Lite.
Got to bring up Jason Castro. It's a beautiful ballpark here in Anaheim, and they've taken great care of it, as they have in the area with Dodger Stadium, by the way. Just a couple of beautiful ballparks. When you talk about it and you get in those conversations about favorite ballparks around America, it's very hard to overlook these in Southern California. This one backhanded by Crone at first base. He'll feed on to Richards. So it's 3-1 on that putout. 2 ground ball outs here in the second.
Dodger Stadium was a good place to play, but that clubhouse left a lot to be desired.
Now they've changed clubhouse, I believe, here in recent years, at least for the home club.
Yeah, they did update that.
The visiting club is still the same?
As far as I know, that was in 2012. I haven't been back since. But if anything needed an upgrade, it was that clubhouse.
Yes.
Those are some unique odors coming through the walls and carpet in that place.
Yeah?
Yeah, and you got to know your locker mates pretty intimately.
Yes, you did. But see, that was the beauty of the whole thing. You bonded tightly.
You really didn't have a choice. It was like going through Wrigley 3 or 4 times a year, where you got to know each other real well.
You know what? You would have loved, of course, Wrigley. That is true. You would have loved the old Astrodome, the original clubhouses, which were shared with the football teams.
No kidding.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very nice.
Were they like Jack Murphy, how they had those adjoining clubhouses?
Well, I mean, it was the same clubhouse.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, and so it was a shared deal.
How did you do that in September?
There may have been some shifting around at that time. I don't even recall now, but 0-2 the count on Marwin.
Makes it tough on the clubhouse staff.
Yes. Of course, back in those days, the spreads were a little different. Spreads consisted of about 20 hot dogs, and if one of your teammates who was rather hungry got up there early, then you didn't worry about a spread at all. The 1-2 pitch. Broken bat. That pink bat is done for the day. A nice play at second base by Giovotella, and a 1-2-3 inning with ground balls in the second inning turned in by Garrett Richards. We're scoreless.
Offers limited lower level and 200 level seats for $19.86 for Monday through Thursday games in the month of May. For more information, visit astros.com/tickets or call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
Jose Altuve, he's everywhere around the league.
He's a hot commodity.
Wherever he happens to be, he's hitting well over 300. That's for absolute certain. Matt Joyce will lead it off. He's the 4-hitter, followed by David Freese and Eric Ibar. Scoreless ball game after an inning and a half. And it looks like Garrett Richards has the good stuff this afternoon. And it was a 1-2-3 first inning turned in by Scott Feldman. Matt Joyce here in the series just 1 for 8. Had a single in game 1. Actually, it was a double for Joyce. And the shift on with Joyce at the plate.
That gun is juiced.
What do we have Scott Feldman at?
94 miles an hour.
Well, hello.
Man, I need to go. I'm going to go down and throw a couple pitches, Ash.
Well, they tell you turn up the dial. Apparently, the guy with the radar gun did that today, huh?
Ooh-wee.
That fastball fouled off. Mother's Day bringing out the best.
Yeah. Let's take a look and see. Average fastball velocity is about 90 miles an hour for Scott Feldman. Throws that cutter around 88 miles an hour. So yeah, he's pumped up.
Joyce hits it on the ground, foul outside the bag. Matt Joyce hitting just 146 on the year. Who we got here? No, I can't see the monitors.
Is that the Rocket?
Oh, Rocket and Debbie on hand here this afternoon.
Like that. Loves him some Astros, huh?
See if we can get Quiggs to run down and get Roger up here and put him on the air.
That'd be good.
He's saying, yeah, glad to do it.
He's on it.
Breaking ball got him. Down on strikes, Matt Joyce. Second strikeout recorded by Feldman. That's out number 1 here in the second inning.
Good breaking ball. You know what, that thing's working today. Scott Feldman should have his way. Doing a good job of getting that ball down in the zone. He's also doing a good job of spotting up that cutter and fastball right now. And if he's working with 94, how much better is that curveball?
How much better will he be throughout the year if he actually is getting to that figure and can stay there?
That would be pretty impressive.
Could be revival season.
The last couple starts for Scott Feldman, I'm just beginning to realize, or I don't know if I'm watching a little bit more close, but he really short arms that ball coming to home plate. Doesn't really have that drop down of the right arm below his waist. He keeps that thing above his belt line, reaches back and fires.
David Freese at the plate, hitting .219. 0 for 3 in yesterday's game. Has 3 hits, all singles here in the series. Lays off and has the count at 2 balls and 1 strike. You know, I think of Nolan Ryan, and it's not like Nolan had a big long arm sweep either. He brought it up almost in that catcher position as he delivered. So different strokes supply the power as this one's hit to the gap in right center field. All the way to the wall. First extra base hit of the series for David Freese. He'll make it with a slide. A 1-out double here in the second inning.
So bizarre when you see David Freese's numbers. They really don't jump out at you. Coming into this game, he hit .219, but for whatever reason it is, if it's experience against the Astros, he rakes them.
And that's the 4th hit on the series for Freese.
That's really his power zone right there, is that ball down that he's able to get behind and drive the other way. He's pretty impressive right-handed opposite field pop.
Not much of a threat to run at second base. He's stolen 1 base on the year. Eric Ibar at the plate. Switch hitter, batting left-handed. Ibar hitting .224. Little tapper is foul. Ibar's been doing it a long time now for the Angels, playing well at shortstop. Came up to the big leagues in 2006. That with the Angels, and he has stayed here throughout. Played over 1,000 games now, heading toward 1,100 shortly. Ground ball hit sharply, but Altuve's there. Second out of the inning, into third base. On the out is David Freese as it brings up the second baseman, Johnny Giavotella. Giavotella has done a very nice job hitting .280. Here in the series, a couple of hits, one a double. 2 for 9 as he stands in. He scored a couple of runs for the Halos. Breaking ball taken low. Jason Castro with the thought of firing down to third. Outfield shading just a bit toward right field on the right-hand hitter. The Astros start play again with a 6-game lead over the second-place LA Angels of Anaheim. Breaking ball grounded left side, diving stop, Valbuena. He's made another one. Outstanding play by Luis Valbuena, and that does it for the Angels in the second as he keeps them off the board. We're scoreless.
Gift from me. So, thank you for making the trip out to LA, and I love you.
Beautiful thing on Mother's Day from Preston Tucker. No score between the Astros and Angels here in Anaheim on Getaway Day. And Houston Methodist helps us get to know Preston Tucker. Favorite ball player growing up, Ken Griffey Jr. and Jim Edmonds. Sushi seems to be pretty popular with the guys in the dugout. Craziest job you ever had, assistant to a loan officer. That's interesting. That can't be on too many lists for an off-season job.
What does the assistant to the loan officer do?
He was punching the numbers into the calculator, or he had to make the phone call and said, "Sir, you don't qualify."
Sorry, we're going another direction.
Or he was out on the road collecting on those loans.
Well, with his power, I have a feeling that he might have been effective in that aspect of the job. Preston Tucker leads off here in the third inning, a scoreless game. Only one hit on the afternoon. That picked up by David Freese, a one-out double in the second inning against Scott Feldman. That's been it. Preston Tucker has one hit in the big leagues. It was a big one as he picked up a base hit to drive in a run, the tying run in the ninth inning of game one here in the series. It eventually led to the Astros picking up a third run. Altuve drove it in. The Astros won it with that come from behind victory. Good breaking ball, called a strike. 2-1 the count. But despite having just one hit, I think what Tucker has shown the Angels is a very aggressive bat, and they've been inclined to go off speed quite a bit on him. And again, the breaking ball.
They're doing it in hitting counts, too. You see that happen a lot to young hitters coming up. They want to be aggressive on the fastball. That's the one pitch that most rookies can go up there and hammer. Even though Richards throws 96, 97 miles an hour, opting for the breaking ball in a 2-0, 2-1 count.
That fastball inside. He's got some gas here this afternoon. Tucker, originally drafted by the Colorado Rockies, 16th rounder in 2011, did not sign. And that fortunate for the Astros as they drafted and signed him the following year, 7th rounder. And he's down on strikes. No shame there against Garrett Richards. That's his second on the afternoon. Out number 1 here in the 3rd.
And these are things that are going to be tucked away in Preston Tucker's memory bank, is that in a 2-0 count breaking ball, 2-1 count breaking ball, 2-2 count he got the fastball, and then immediately goes to that 3-2 breaking ball. So in hitters counts, Preston Tucker may want to realize that he's going to see some off-speed pitches in those hitters counts.
Robbie Grossman gets a start here. He's in the 9 spot. When people talk about the adjustments from AAA to the big leagues, is that the biggest step to make, is ability to handle breaking balls and fastball counts?
Well, usually in the minor leagues, you're facing those guys that do have high talent levels and have electric fastballs maybe, but they don't have that secondary and third pitch to throw in the strike zone. When you get to the big leagues, these guys can throw 3 pitches consistently in the strike zone at any time. And I think that's where you run into problems, is that 2-0 count, and you fall behind because you're taking the breaking ball, because those guys can throw their off-speed pitches in 2-0 counts, 3-2 counts. You can't just sit fastball, I believe, like you and I did back in the day.
Adds up to a big difference on the big league level for a lot of guys. 2 down as Robbie Grossman grounds out. It brings up Jake Marisnick, the leadoff man. And I guess ultimately it's the guy that has the ability to handle breaking stuff and the changes of speeds and locations that eventually can succeed at the big league level. Jake Marisnick is succeeding and then some right now, hitting .330. Good swing as he fouls it back.
He is on everything, too. Facing a guy throwing 96, 97 miles an hour, and you get a belt-high heater. That's a pretty good pass.
And Marisnick down on strikes, so a couple of punch-outs in the inning. That's 3 now for Garrett Richards. 2.5 innings of scoreless ball.
Online only. Vote for your favorite Astros today by visiting astros.com/vote. All right, Ash, Blummer, you know, we had that franchise 4. Did you guys, now that the balloting is closed, the voting is closed, did you guys come up with your franchise 4?
I'm not touching it. I guarantee it's just,
I'm on it.
It's just too tight for me.
Okay,
I'm on it.
But there's no wrong answers.
Yeah, it's easy for me because all the guys are my ex-teammates, so it's easy for me to go Bagwell, Biggio, Berkman, and Oswalt.
That's exactly mine, and I'm not saying that because that was yours, but that is exactly what. And a lot of guys, you talk to 12 guys in the clubhouse, and they'll give you 12 different
that's the beauty
franchise
of it.
force, and there's no wrong answers.
Yeah, and I think it also depends when you might have been affiliated with the club. And see, I have some different teammates involved there, and it gets a little tough. And I hate to bring up names because it excludes somebody else. We go to the bottom of the third inning. That means I'm scared.
Don't be a skirt. That's impressive for Kevin because he's watched a lot of Astro baseball.
Well, that is impressive. He's also a little bit on the younger side like you, and so therefore you might be inclined to lean that direction.
Yep.
Whereas I might be inclined to say I remember the skills of Jose Cruz as a hitter and Cesar Cedeno as the ground ball goes to third. A couple of hops there for Valbuena, and out number one, and of course Nolan Ryan and Mike Scott, my good buddy, and just so many guys that were so great.
2, 3. And right down here, you can just go ahead and
you know a guy
right in Roy O.
The guy that I was right there with Roy O was Joe Niekro, and I kind of thought maybe Roy pitched so many postseason games, and don't get me wrong, I remember the Joe Niekro game at Dodger Stadium, the great performance he put together.
163.
There. Yeah, that put him just a little bit above Joe Niekro as far as I was concerned.
Good stuff.
And Joe Niekro's a guy that comes to mind for me, and I've got a soft spot for Joe because he was a 20-game winner back-to-back years with the club, and that's a tough feat to turn anymore.
Yeah, Jimmy Wynn right there.
Yep.
Cesar Cedeno.
That's the one. I've heard Cesar Cedeno quite a bit.
If you talk pure talent, I'm not so sure he wouldn't be at the top of the list.
If you talk pure talent, depending on how long they were here, I mean, you don't forget Carlos Beltran.
Yes, yeah, obviously not very long in an Astros uniform as Chris Iannetta pops out. That's 2 outs quickly here in the third inning. Maybe we should just talk Astros all-time players during the Angels at bats and get some quick outs. And
Carlos Beltran, the impact he had for the brief amount of time he was there was pretty incredible.
He was crazy in the 2004 postseason.
Well, you could talk if you were talking about brief impact. How about Jeff Kent, for example?
You could throw him in there.
Yep. Randy Johnson.
Randy Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
6 weeks.
Yeah.
This is a decent trade.
Yeah, not bad.
So anyway, it's a great
John
argument.
Halama.
Thanks, Kevin. And well, that's the way to throw that name in. I'm sure.
Carlos Guillen.
I'm sure the family will thank you on that one.
Oh, good stuff.
Of course, there were a couple of other guys who turned out to be pretty good players out of that deal, but that's a deal I would make over and over, by the way. Swing and a miss by Calhoun. He struck out looking in the first inning and has an 0-2 count. What do you think of the stuff you see from Scott Feldman so far?
I'm digging it. He's living up to what he said he was going to do. Wished his mom a happy Mother's Day. She's in the stands, and he said he's going to go out there and give it his best shot. And right now, it's looking pretty good. Doing a good job on location. The velocity actually seems to be up.
Now we've got a little debate as to how much we're buying into the velocity on the radar gun here this afternoon, but
I'm buying.
Are you? You're in there?
I'm in it.
0-2 the count. Just inside.
92 miles an hour on the inside corner.
So you're bought in?
Well, it sounds good. It's good for TV, isn't
okay.
it? You see the radar gun light up. You hear us raving about how well he's throwing. People love that.
Well, he's been up to 94 on the radar gun today. Garrett Richards up to 100. As that breaking ball is low. You know what? I'll say this. That breaking ball, that slider right there was really tight, and that requires velocity to make that happen. So I would say that it's very likely that Scott has more velocity today than we've seen him have to this point. No runs a hit for the Angels. No runs, no hits for the Astros.
Perfect day for baseball. He's feeling good.
Well, and it's one of those days where you've got a chance to jump on the airplane, head back to Houston, 3-1 rather on a trip. A brief 4-game stop in Anaheim. And for a club already in first place, boy, what a nice little turnaround that would be. sea of red here in Anaheim when you come out here. And very close, but missing. So it's 3-2 now on Calhoun. Mike Trout waits on deck.
Good pitch, better take.
Yankees lead the East by 2 games over Tampa Bay. Toronto, Baltimore, Boston trailing. And they're all in striking range. Kansas City, half game up on Detroit in the Central. Hot shot on a hop. Diving stop Carter. He feeds on to Feldman. What about a play by Chris Carter? That's some kind of gem. We've seen a couple already. 3 innings of scoreless baseball in Anaheim. Chris Carter leading off here in the 4th inning.
And Jack in the Box takes us inside the box score. Take a look at Altuve in comparison to that epic year he had last year in 2014, where he led all of Major League Baseball with the eventual average of 341. I apologize. This time last year only hitting 289. This year hitting 349. So I assume he's going to hit 400 this year, Ash.
Okay, I'm good. I'm buying more
60 points ahead of his pace last year.
I'm just going to say this. I'm buying more into that than I am the radar gun so far today.
Wow. That's saying something right there, yeah.
So let's go with it. Jose Altuve leads it off 0 for 1 on the day. Grounded into a fielder's choice in the 1st inning. Straight up on the defense, but they played deep. Mike Trout in center field is playing Altuve like the power hitter that he is.
Guys, I got to tell you real quick, after I was down there, I stand right next to Brent Strom. He's on the other side in the dugout, obviously. He looks at me, he goes, "What were you talking about, John Halama? Did you say John Halama?" Name out of his past. I said, "You hadn't heard that name in a while." He said, "I had him in the Montreal organization."
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's going
way back.
That was that 3rd name in the deal that came from the Astros.
Freddie Garcia, Carlos Guillen.
That's right. 2 guys that turned out to play very, very well. Fly ball to left field. Altuve is retired. That's out number 1 here in the 4th inning. But yeah, it's hard to be that 3rd guy in a deal that doesn't really do a whole lot, because you'll be the guy that gets mentioned a lot of times. Luis Valbuena stands in. He flied to right field in the 1st inning. Looked for a moment like he might have gotten one, but maybe in on the hands just a fraction. 7 long balls on the year for Valbuena as he takes a ball. Yeah, we've already seen Roger Clemens out here. And
Star-studded.
You have any idea what brings Roger to this neck of the woods?
Well, he ran out of options, and it was a late call, so he called to get tickets to the ball game and Here you are on Mother's Day.
There you go.
Love you, honey. I got an interesting note on Roger if you want to hear it.
Sure.
He, in 2004, him and Andy Pettitte signed with the Houston Astros. I'm sure they contributed it pretty good to that winning record, going 20-11 in that ball club. Guess who got the 21st win for the Houston Astros in 2004?
2004.
That guy right there. Yeah. The Rocket got the win for game number 21. Beat the Marlins back in 2004.
I thought he won about half the games that year.
No, he only went to half the games.
Oh,
that year.
that's what it was. I gotcha. Gotcha. Did you know that Luis Valbuena was originally in the big leagues with Seattle in 2008?
I did not know that.
I couldn't have told you that either. He's down on strikes right here. 4th strikeout for Garrett Richards as he works 2 out in the 4th inning. It brings up Chris Carter. He was a strikeout victim to end the 1st.
Breaking ball didn't come all the way back down, but still effective and in the zone.
So Chris Carter stands in. And as the big swing comes up empty. Let's take a peek at 2014 on Chris Carter. We know that May 9th was the date of his 5th home run of the year. And last night was his 5th home run of the year. When did he hit number 6? May 18th. That was game number 40 for the Astros. And that against the White Sox. So it still took a while.
So we got 8 more days until that home run.
But you know, we also mentioned that he hit 12 home runs in the month of August. So
it's making up some ground right there.
It really heats up in the back half of the summer.
Well, that would be nice for the Astros to figure if they can hold on to this lead they have right now in the American League West and just kind of maintain that, scratch along until guys like Chris Carter start lighting it up. Evan Gattis gets into the fold. George Springer comes back healthy and starts launching. Could be an interesting summer.
Ground ball left side. High bars there and makes the long throw. A 1, 2, 3, 4th inning. Garrett Richards and Scott Feldman both tough here this afternoon.
Swinging a hot stick right now, driving the ball well out of the ballpark. We saw that home run in the first game of the series. Then we saw this one off Dallas Keuchel, who's actually had partial ownership of Mike Trout, but left the changeup out over the plate, and Mike Trout absolutely demolished that one deep into the night, landing well up on that berm in center field. The kid can flat swing it.
And the kid leads it off. Mike Trout, Albert Pujols, and Matt Joyce here in the 4th inning. A scoreless game. Hitting .304 on the year. You see the 9 home runs. He has a couple here in the series. He's hit 3 over his last 4 games overall. And takes a strike at the knees. Hit a home run last night, just right of straightaway center. And way up on the berm. Guy is incredibly strong. There's that pitch up that everybody was talking about. This is the way we're going to pitch Mike Trout this year. I don't know what his overall success is here.
Well, he's fouling him off.
He's getting a piece.
But I'm sure velocity has a little bit to do with it, but that's a deep part of the ballpark right there where that ball landed, about halfway up that berm.
Trout lays off on the breaking ball. He struck out a load last year, 184 to lead the league. And one of the things he said he was going to do this year to try to cut down on the strikeouts was not take so many pitches early in the count. And it seems to this point like it may be helping. I think there's a noticeable change with Cole Calhoun swinging earlier in counts than we saw last year. And now Trout gets timeout.
Well, one way not to strike out is to swing before you get to 2 strikes. Make contact, put the ball in play.
A lot of the times, pitchers are just simply trying to get ahead early in the count. As the count now is even at 2-2.
Well, I think we both feel the same way about the strikeout rates going way up in the last couple of years, is because so many guys are taking pitches early in the count. Pitchers recognizing that are throwing more strikes early in the count, getting ahead of these hitters.
Pitch hit in the air, right field. Not deep this time, off the end of the bat. Colby Rasmus with the play, and out number 1. Well, anytime you get that guy out, it's a big out. And now on to Albert Pujols. This lineup, though, for the Angels right now feels like it's loaded with Calhoun, Trout, and Pujols, and then drops off considerably at that point.
Yeah, that's one way of putting it, considering your 4-hole hitter is hitting a $146. Freeze in the low 200s, Ibar low 200s. Giovatella's hitting 280.
Ground ball hits softly to third base. Valbuena with an easy play this time. And 2 outs in the 4th inning.
But I'm sure nothing against Giovatella, who's having a great start to the season. I would rather have a 280 Giovatella than a 280 Albert Pujols.
Yeah.
If I'm facing them.
Brings up the cleanup man, Matt Joyce. And Plummer just mentioned the batting average. It has been a slow start. 144 the mark now. Joyce struck out in the 2nd inning, one of the 2 on the afternoon for Scott Feldman. Of course, then you can look at the Astros lineup and others around baseball right now, and there are some guys that have had a rough start on the season.
I was watching the Detroit-Kansas City Royals game. Victor Martinez around 240. That one blew me away.
Yeah, and the first week of the season, I thought he got off to a pretty good start, as I recall. I'd have to look back at some of the box scores on that, but that's very surprising.
They were hinting at maybe a leg injury, but...
Well, he had what was it, the knee injury last year?
Yeah, but still a guy of that caliber, as well as he's hit in the past. He had a great year last year.
Almost, we came right down to that final day of the season when the batting title was really on the line. And you recall all the machinations going on with Altuve. Is he in the lineup? Is he not? And then he wound up playing and got a couple of hits and just ran away with the title.
It was an interesting day.
Yes, it was.
Glad it ended the way it did.
Doesn't seem that long ago to me.
Really doesn't.
Do you know that Clayton Kershaw is going after his 100th career win?
I did not know that.
3-2 the count now on Matt Joyce. He's been stuck on 99 wins for a little while. And the Dodgers lead the Rockies in the second inning 1-0.
It's crazy how guys can cruise for a while and then they get to that, milestone of 100 and have a tough time getting it.
Ground ball right side. Altuve with the play. A 1-2-3 fourth inning. So we go to the fifth. Scoreless ball game here in Game 4.
Everything she could to me and my sister. There wasn't a tournament she wouldn't take us to. There wasn't a practice that she wouldn't sign me up for. And that kind of love and support, she wanted me to be happy. She knew baseball was part of it. She moved out to Stanford with me when I was in college after I lost my dad, and has remained my biggest fan through baseball and through life. She's a great woman who's gone through a lot.
We welcome you back to Anaheim, and you guys saw the Rocket there in the stands and a chance to visit. What are you doing here in Anaheim?
Well, we're watching our Astros a little bit. We were over in Sedona. My wife was doing a show there, and we're going to hang around till tomorrow. Albert's got a little charity event, and we're going to help support his cause.
But how this ball club has been playing, off to a really good start. Got to be impressed with what they've done so far.
They've been playing great and been throwing the ball well. I knew we were going to have a good pitching matchup today, and I enjoy watching Richard's mechanics too. It's pretty special, but both guys are dealing today, and it's a great Mother's Day.
Keuchel and McHugh at the top of that rotation, what they've been able to do, they've been fun to watch.
Yeah, Keuchel's been great. We saw that coming. He worked and got some good advice from an old battery mate of mine, Charlie O'Brien, but they're doing great. Just real proud of them. Like I said, we're season ticket holders, so we're loving it, and just enjoying the atmosphere. I really enjoyed pitching here. This is one of my favorite ballparks.
All right, you had a good Mother's Day, right, Deb?
Had a great Mother's Day. It was wonderful.
All right, very good. Going to the Rockets game tonight?
We are. We're gonna go. Coach Woodson, the assistant coach. We know Woody real well, and but we're gonna go see our Rockets.
All right, thanks, Rod.
Okay.
Appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah.
Good to see you. All right, guys, back upstairs.
Thanks a lot, Kevin. Rocket and Debbie. We're in the fifth inning, a scoreless game. Colby Rasmus, the 5-hitter, leads it off and has a 2-2 count. Jason Castro and Marwin Gonzalez to follow. We mentioned 72 degrees at game time here today. It's 82 degrees presently back in Houston, so I'm told. They awoke in Denver today at Coors Field for the Rockies game with a coating of snow on the field.
Fun.
Rasmus strikes out to start the inning. 5 on the afternoon for Richards.
Late in the year for some snow.
Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah. Let's go have a snowball fight. You first.
Yeah, so that's the story out of Denver. They got their ball game going, but.
And that's where Kershaw's pitching at right now?
Yes.
Wow. Go get them, boys.
Think the hitters have the advantage there?
That'd be a negative.
Jason Castro 0 for 1 on the day. Slams one on the foot. Jason hitting .215. It just has not started fast for Jason Castro. And yet he swung the bat quite well much of the time. Just one hit on the afternoon, even in this gorgeous weather. That picked up by David Freese, a double in the second inning. Again, tapping one foul is Castro. Five strikeouts for Garrett Richards, a couple on the afternoon for Scott Feldman. 7 ground ball outs now recorded by Feldman through his 4 innings. And Richards has picked up his share. He has 6 already.
Yikes.
Don't think I'd want to take that cut fastball from Richards on the ankle.
Could you imagine? I might actually cry if that happened. Give me a moment, guys. That really hurt.
Drop the might from the sentence. You got my comment. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Castro. Bat starts, and he does go through, says the home plate umpire. Gabe Morales here this afternoon. That's out number 2 in the 5th inning, and 6 punch-outs now for Richards.
Got a moment, Ash?
I do, a big one.
Join the Astros Saturday, May 16th for our 8th annual Bayou Bash presented by HEB with a special thanks to Budweiser. The Bash is open from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. on the Crawford Street Plaza and features a live musical performance by Locash. Tons of crawfish, cold beer, and activities for all ages. For more information and to purchase tickets, visit astros.com/Bayou Bash or call 1-879-ASTROS. That one's going in the bleachers.
I missed the start of that. Could you run through that again?
Yeah, give me a minute. Holy cow. I mean, I'm intimidated before I even get that thing. I'm sweaty. My palms are sweaty from holding and trying to read that.
How many pages on the novel was that written on?
Goodness. Well, I don't know who wrote War and Peace, but apparently he's good at writing promos, too. And our producer actually cut it down for me.
Fly ball to center field. Marwin is retired by Mike Trout. A 1-2-3 5th inning. It has been nothing but roll time. 11 in a row. Make that 12 in a row. Retired. Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare right now at southwest.com. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO.
True professional, Ash.
Please, I'll tell you what, Locash, I've got to see him.
Their hit song is High Rent.
You know, if we could, I saw Lou Piniella roaming the halls a little while ago. Let's see if we can get Lou in here and read that promo. David Freese leads off here in the 5th inning, followed by Eric Ibar and Johnny Giovotella.
You know what he'd say.
Lou would do it proud. That's all I know.
I'd love me some crawfish.
Yes, he would say that.
I've got low cash on my iPod.
So who is Low Cash? Can you tell me about that group?
I'm investigating as we speak.
Okay.
Musical duo, singing country.
David Freese has the only hit on the afternoon. Lined a double into the gap in right center field in the 2nd inning as he fouls one down the right field side here. Yeah, I got to know a little more about Low Cash.
They were established in 2004.
Okay.
Out of Nashville, Tennessee, of course. Big country music. They're formerly known as Low Cash Cowboys. Did I mention they're a duo?
You did mention that. Little looper into right center field. Long run, and not getting there is Colby Rasmus. So it's a leadoff single. And Freese now with the game's only 2 hits.
Of course, David Freese has a hit. Before that at bat, he was hitting .332 on his career against the Astros.
So he just pushes those numbers upward. He's aboard for Eric Ibar, and we'll see if the Angels try to play a little hit and run, something to get somebody moving here in this game. It has been all pitching. Garrett Richards and Scott Feldman. Again, just 1 stolen base on the season for David Freese. And the Astros anticipate something with the pitch out. And now with the 1-0 count, it provides an opportunity for Mike Scioscia. Feldman has not walked a man, nor has Richards on this afternoon. It has been sharp and crisp. Freese does not go as the pitch is fouled left side. And watch out, Mom, on those foul balls.
Yeah, that was not a easy play for a fan in the stands. Good grief.
Eric Ibar, now 31 years of age. He has not homered on the season after hitting 7 a year ago. In fact, he had quite a year for the Angels last year as their shortstop, 68 home runs. And combined speed with it, 16 stolen bases on his season. I don't know what I said, 68 RBIs on his season last year.
There's going to be a record for shortstops with 68 home runs.
Did I say 68 home? He did have a good season, not that good.
Yeah, but he was driving the ball with guys on base, that's for sure.
I wish somebody had made that audio mistake on me one time.
I would have saved that.
I'd have captured that thing and saved it forever.
These days, you could probably download that onto your iPad or something. Watch it over and over. 68 home run, Alan Ashby.
It would be my ringer, that's for sure.
Oh, good one.
Yeah.
Be your voicemail message. Everything.
We have Lou Piniella recorded for me.
Could be arranged.
Ground ball left side, shift on, and it rolls right through shortstop. So back-to-back hits, Freese and Ibar, and the Angels have something going here in the 5th inning.
It's kind of taking what they give you right there. You see Valbuena playing in for the possible bunt with the leadoff man being on. Really no chance. If he was playing a couple steps deeper, he might have had a chance to knock that ball down, maybe get the out at second base. But because he was drawn in, Ibar able to shoot it past him.
Now we'll see how the Angels play it. Johnny Giovotella at the plate. He grounded out in the 2nd inning. A terrific play at third base by Valbuena to get him But now you would figure the bunt would be in play for the Angels.
Carter in, Valbuena in.
And here's the bunt. And pulling away is Giovotella. It's 1 ball and no strikes. It looked like Feldman thought maybe the bat had stayed out there long enough.
It's interesting. You get a veteran pitcher in Scott Feldman. I wonder if, knowing the bunt situation was on and the fastball has been called, if he thought about elevating that fastball a little bit, maybe get Giovotella to pop it up.
Again, the corners charging in, showing bunt and taking a ball, a very good-looking pitch, and Castro appears to be talking immediately to Gabe Morales, the home plate umpire.
Well, Castro set up on that outer third. Ball comes back. Wow, okay.
I don't know what Morales wanted, but it's 2 balls and no strikes. And I'm not sure what Giovotella had in mind.
They create a unique situation. 2-0 count. Maybe the bunt is off. Let him swing.
And now the fastball in the dirt, kicks on by Castro. And the Angels don't need to bunt now. A wild pitch moves Freeze into third and Ibar into second.
To see the replay and see what that ball hit, because it doesn't typically shoot up like that on Castro. He seen him go after it with the glove. Really didn't go down to his knees. But you could see it ricochet off something that it was out in front of home plate. Must have been some kind of divot out there, but it shot up big time.
Sometimes it can hit the corner of the plate. That looked like it actually hit in front of the plate.
Not good.
But the other thing is, when you call a fastball as a catcher, you just almost cannot kick it down. You can't get there in time. And now runners at second and third and a 3-0 count. And on the 3-0, Giovotella gets the green light. They're in the bottom part of the order, so that means C.J. Cron, the 8-hitter, is next, followed by Chris Iannetta. And Mike Sosa just immediately gives that green light.
Not sure why Giovotella even tried to offer that, unless he was just trying to give himself up. Because right now, a ground ball up the middle would score the run easy. But it was kind of a borderline pitch for me. Looking for something a little bit better in a 3-0 count, or something I could drive.
Infield playing back. And there's ball 4. They're loaded up. Nobody out. And C.J. Cron coming to the plate. And we'll see how the Astros play this defensively.
Things got out of control pretty quick here, Ash.
Yes, they did. Little base hit by David Freeze. The ground ball through the open left side by Eric Ibar. And then the wild pitch really set it up.
Next 2 hitters are pretty big, because these are the 8-9 hitters in this lineup, and you turn that lineup over with some base runners on, you're going to have some issues.
It's one of those days, Blummer, with Garrett Richards throwing the ball so well that you can't give up much right here.
That is the truth.
So Cron at the plate. He's hitting just an even 200. Has 1 home run on his year. He's a big guy. Prime candidate for the double play. But in the process, you certainly would give up a run.
Cron 2 for his last 28 also. Hopefully that plays into the advantage of Scott Feldman.
Cron has driven in just 6 on the season, and he takes a strike. 0-2 the count. Now, if you could get the strikeout right here, what a big out, because then you're set up for the double play to get out without any damage.
Good movement on that fastball again. Our velocity says 93, but Feldman does a good job of working those corners and brought that one back nicely to get ahead in his count.
Cron hit 11 home runs a year ago. And down on strikes. And that is huge. So that first out comes via the strikeout, and now the 9-hitter, Chris Iannetta, who has been mired in a horrible slump, will stand in.
This ball took off out of Feldman's hand. Just that 2-seamer gets on top of it, runs that thing in on the hands. Misses spot by quite a bit, but with that much movement, you can see how hard it was to handle for Jason Castro, too.
So now you play for the double play in the infield. Iannetta at the plate, 0 for 1, and that batting average at .090.
It's amazing how baseball will put you in situations like this when you're scuffling.
Isn't that the truth?
You're either redeeming yourself or becoming more of a goat.
There's your leadoff slider to get ahead for Feldman.
And it seems like when you're really going bad, it seems like every pitch is on the edge. Every pitch is moving at the last second in the perfect spot.
One RBI on the year, as this one is just foul.
Every ball you hit is just foul.
Meanwhile, you watch teammates who start flipping dribblers and flares, and it just doesn't seem right.
Oh, man. The count is constantly 0-2.
It's exactly where it stands right now, 0-2.
And Feldman's job is to bury this guy, too, because this is the situation you want to have this guy up in.
Now come up with that big sinker again. Either get the strikeout or the ground ball. Take your chances. He's bringing it.
Yeah, it sounds like it, too.
Iannetta now in his 4th season with the Angels. Started in the bigs with the Rockies. Last year hit .252, so these numbers this year an aberration, but Feldman would like to keep it right there for the time being. The 1-2. Maybe overthrowing a bit on those last two.
I thought exactly.
We're going to be feeling a little bit of pressure here in Anaheim off to the 14-7 start, or 17 start, 6 games back. Comes a point where you feel like you got to get things going.
It seems like they're trying to find themselves too, try and re-identify themselves as a ball club after trading away Josh Hamilton.
The 2-2. Little dribbler. Can they get it out at the plate? No. Throw goes away. 1-run, 2-run score on the play. And that little dribbler provides the game's first 2 runs. 2-0 Angels, runners at first and third.
Too bad. That's that sinker you were talking about, getting in on the hands, possibly getting a ground ball, but Iannetta just nubs it just enough to put it in no man's land out there in front of Scott Feldman. Felt his only shot was to come home. Instead, airmails it over Castro's head, leading to 2 runs.
It'll go as a swinging single for Iannetta. He drives in a run with that base hit. And then the second run scores on the E1. And also moving to third base on the air, Johnny Giavotella. So a very costly play, a tough play. And had Scott Feldman been able to make the good toss, he could have gotten the second out. But now just 1 out, runners at first and third in the top of the order with Cole Calhoun.
Yeah, and that's not the play you work on in spring training when you're doing PFPs. That's just bad luck. And trying to force the issue with that throw. I'm not sure if he would have had a chance at Iannetta at first base if he had decided to, but with the play right in front of him, he chose to try and go home.
Fly ball left field. Is it deep enough to score a run? Tagging at third is Giavotella. The catch made, and scoring on the sac fly is Giavotella. And now 3-0 Angels on top. A sacrifice fly for Cole Calhoun.
This Cole Calhoun kid is a gritty ball player. He's put together some great at-bats in this series. See him trying to fight the ball off, going the other way with the shift the Astros are implementing. But he benefited also from having Giovitella at third base. That ball wasn't hit all that deep.
Yeah, I would have to say here in the series that Calhoun, whether because of the shift or whatever's going on, has been almost exclusively a left field hitter. 2 outs now for Mike Trout. That leaves Iannetta at first base. He's held on by Carter. And Trout is 0 for 2 on the day. RBI number 18 for Calhoun. And we go back to Iannetta, just his second ribby on the season. And this inning could prove to be as much as the Angels need. Garrett Richards has been dynamic here this afternoon. Line drive into right center field, dropping for a hit. Getting it back in, Marisnick. He'll hold the catcher Iannetta at second base. So Trout's 1 for 3 on the day, and it brings up Albert Pujols.
For a young hitter, Mike Trout really does a good job of bringing those hands in, fighting this pitch off. He's probably seen some hitters before him get that good sinker from Scott Feldman, but he went up there with the approach that he's not going to get blown up or roll that thing over. He's going to stay through it up the middle. Did a great job.
We used to hear in my playing days that really good hitters were willing to get jammed, and that's kind of what you can see with Mike Trout. When he gets a pitch he can handle, he'll lay the barrel all over it. But the rest of the time, he'll fight the ball back up the middle and pick up his base hits.
I think it's a good thought process. I've talked to a lot of hitters that said, you know, even if they're slumping and they're getting jammed, they're more comfortable making the adjustment from getting jammed as opposed to if they're slumping and hitting the ball off the end of the bat. It was easier to speed things up when you're getting jammed as opposed to slowing things down because you're hitting it off the end of the bat.
3 runs in here in the 5th. Iannetta, the lead runner at second base. Trout at first. Albert Pujols twice is grounded out to third. Two and 0 the count. Both bullpens still quiet. Garrett Richards, the life of a pitcher. You just kind of hang by yourself. Focus on that next inning of work. That ground ball is foul. 2-1 the count. It's going to be a tough one to look back on for Garrett Richards, or rather for Scott Feldman, as he got the little tapper by Iannetta. But such a tough play to try to get the out at the plate, and 2 runs scoring on it, then the sac fly. And before you know it, you're trailing 3-0. Pujols waving on that hanging breaking ball.
Spinner looked like an eephus pitch to Albert Pujols. He wanted to kill that thing.
Hate to have to sit and count the times he has destroyed that pitch in the past. The 2-2, and again the breaking ball, and again got him. So Pujols down on strikes. 8 hitters come to the plate. 3 score in the 5th inning, and the Angels lead at 3-0.
Living out my dream. Happy Mother's Day. I love you.
And again, we wish that happy Mother's Day to everybody, all the mothers out there, and hope you're enjoying your day. The Astros are enjoying it a little bit less here after the last half inning. 3 runs for the Angels against Scott Feldman, and the big swing, a ball that rolled about 15 feet off the bat of Chris Iannetta.
Grown man took a full swing and hit it 30 feet.
Okay, 30 feet.
I think 15 is more accurate. I was exaggerating. The ball's juiced.
So 3-0 Halos. 8-9-1 coming up for the Astros. Robbie Grossman will get his hacks. He's the 2-hitter here in the inning. Preston Tucker leads it off. Tucker struck out in the 3rd. 6 strikeouts and no hits allowed by the big right-hander of the Angels, Garrett Richards. So he's gone 5 without allowing a hit this afternoon. It was Mother's Day 2010 that Dallas Braden, wearing an Oakland A's uniform, threw a perfect game. That was May 9th that year. And so we'll see.
I personally hope it doesn't happen.
You're on that side of that thing, huh?
Yeah, I'd like to see the Astros break this thing up and ambush them. How about Dallas Braden was out of baseball a year later?
1 year later.
Is that not amazing?
Now, he had arm surgery that followed
yes,
fairly
yeah,
shortly, right?
Tragic arm injury. I'm not sure if it was elbow, shoulder, that something went extremely wrong, obviously, to have him out of the game.
Preston Tucker takes a strike. It's 3-1.
Well, Tucker got a game tying base hit in his first game played. Now he's got a chance in his first game as a designated hitter to break this thing up.
Starts the bat, takes a ball. Leadoff walk here in the 6th inning.
Our T-Mobile game changer is Major League Baseball and Louisville Slugger going to bat against breast cancer this Mother's Day. We had mentioned the fact that I think Louisville Slugger was the first bat company to initiate this pink bat for Major League Baseball, and it's since then all the other bat companies have followed suit in honoring breast cancer awareness on Mother's Day. It's a fantastic thing. The players get involved. Major League Baseball gets involved. They auction off those bats, making a great deal of money in charity auctions for those pink game-used bats, so keep your eyes out for that.
Nobody out here in the 6th inning. The Astros trying to mount a bit of a charge. Still looking for that first hit of the afternoon. Pitch number 67 on the day from Garrett Richards is a strike.
Got that hole on the right side opened up with C.J. Cron holding on Preston Tucker. Got Garrett Richards throwing a power cutter. Get Robbie Grossman to maybe leak out a little bit, yank one through that hole, and let Preston go all the way to 3rd.
By the way, we mentioned the perfect game thrown on Mother's Day 2010 by Dallas Braden. Don't know if many of you remember the story, but Dallas Braden's mother had died when he was in high school, and he was raised by his grandmother, Peggy Lindsay. And she was in attendance that day, and a very special day, obviously, for that family. 2 balls and a strike now on Robbie Grossman. Kevin.
Yeah, Ash, you remember Dallas Braden, he lived in the suburbs of Oakland, and he never moved. I mean, a town that was adjacent to it. I don't exactly remember which town it was, but he never moved from that same neighborhood in which he grew up in. Drove the same car that he got in high school. He was kind of a regular guy's regular guy.
Yeah, I remember what an amazing day it was. He wasn't a hard thrower, even before the injury that ended his career. Pretty remarkable when anybody can throw a no-no, let alone the perfect game. Obviously no perfect game opportunity here this afternoon, but still the no-hitter intact. 2-2 the count on Grossman. There has not been a double play behind Richards, but he has struck out 6. Back door and missing. 3-2. Down 3 runs. Don't know how the Astros play this with Tucker at first base.
It's tough too. You got a guy in Grossman who doesn't play all that often getting the spot start today.
And Robbie has a tendency of taking a lot of third strikes. Tucker doesn't go. Half swing going through. So down on strikes, Robbie Grossman. That's 7 now for the right-hander Richards, out number 1 in the 6th.
Talked about Louisville slugger and MLB teaming up for these pink bats to go to bat against breast cancer. Here's some numbers and facts about it. Good stuff. 30 MLB team honorary Batgirls who have battled breast cancer will receive pink Louisville sluggers. How about that second one? Partners have raised over $1 million for the charity. That's fantastic stuff.
Leadoff man Jake Marisnick at the plate. 0 for 1. He has walked. Marisnick walked to start the game back in the first inning. He was erased as Altuve grounded into a fielder's choice. Altuve got as far as second on what was a pass ball in the first inning, and that's been it. So Tucker here with the leadoff walk in the 6th. Just runner number 2 on the afternoon for Houston. Marisnick hitting .326 as he stands in.
It's got to be a pleasant sight for Angel fans and Angel management seeing Garrett Richards go out here and deal this afternoon. That horrific injury last season to his knee, now having him come back, probably just getting his legs under him right now and feeling it. And I mean feeling good in that sense.
Pitch fouled off. Clearly Richards is one of the exceptional pitchers around the league in terms of stuff. Counted 0-2. Jake Marisnick had a couple of hits, including a double in last night's win. 3 hits on the series. And down on strikes. Back-to-back strikeouts, 8 on the day. 2 outs for Altuve.
See how he creates that whip and that velocity. That's just a 4-seamer. Some jet fuel behind it. Keep in mind, Marisnick is swinging a hot bat, too. He's seeing the ball well, swinging the bat well.
I would imagine Marisnick and Altuve, the 2 guys that Richards might have on his mind right about now. You know he's got to be aware of the fact that he hasn't allowed a hit. Starts him with the breaking ball. Altuve hitting .344. So he's 3 points above that batting title figure from a year ago. And strike 2 called. Right there at the very top of the strike zone. Oh, 0-2 the count. Close, but no cigars.
Richards not happy about it. But if you give a pitcher those 2 pitches previously, you'd expect to get that pitch right there, wouldn't you? It was a much better pitch, even though it was just a hair off the outside corner.
Tightening up that paintbrush that he's been dealing with. 1-2 the count. Tucker bluffs early as the pitch is fouled off, and boy, does that get in the seats quickly.
I think a vendor knocked that one down for a fan.
I hope so.
I'll let them know you feel that way.
I think the vendors are immune to pain, are they not? Yeah.
You got the thumbs up.
Everything's good down there.
Just put an ice cold beer on it, you'll be all right.
A couple of young kids sitting right in the row behind where that ball hit.
Saved a life.
Just amazing. The 1-2. Little half swing, ground ball, first base side. So they get Altuve to end the 6th inning on a check swing as Richards rolls along. He is not allowed a hit through 6.
Every Sunday home game presented by Kroger. The next Sunday home game is May 17th when the Astros take on the Blue Jays. For more information or to purchase tickets, you can visit astros.com/Sundays or call 877-9-ASTROS. We go to the bottom of the 6th. And by the way, guys, Roger Clemens sends his regards to the booth.
Well, thanks. We appreciate those regards right now. The Astros hitters and bats could use some Roger Clemens regards. It is 3-0 Angels as we go to the bottom of the 6th, and this is Altuve.
Oh my goodness, that ball bounced. It was a cricket shot from Altuve on that last out. That was pretty incredible.
That is not your ideal pitch to swing at.
You know what Vladimir Guerrero would have done with that?
Hit it out of the park.
Hit a double off the right field wall with it. Well, and to credit Garrett Richards, that shows you how nasty his stuff is this afternoon, too. Yeah. When you get a guy like Altuve to check his swing on a ball that bounces out in front of home plate like that.
How's the background in this ballpark when you've got a guy throwing that hard?
It's pretty good, but you know how it is on most day games. It's pretty bright. You're squinting a little bit. It's tough to pick the ball up sometimes, but the background is pretty good for me.
Shift on. Right there is Marwin to make the play, out number 1. Scott Feldman has pitched very well, but a fielding error on his part has contributed to this lead. And had he been able to make that play, we could still be dealing in a scoreless game.
It would have taken a pretty incredible play.
Yes.
To get that play at home plate. As we go back and take a look at it, this ball nubbed with that runner at third base with a pretty good lead. It's David Freese, so you'd think he's got a chance, but I'm not sure even if he takes his time, fields it cleanly, and fires to first base if he gets Iannetta on that too.
Ground ball to short. Couple of ground balls to Marwin, and we've got 2 outs here in the inning. Well, to me, Iannetta wasn't even an issue. It was really just getting an out at home plate and trying to move on. Right. And so had they been able to get that lead out at the plate and then just move on from that point, and who knows if the double play was still a possibility, but it was there for Scott. A very difficult play.
Yeah, Valbuena playing deep. because the infield was playing in that double play depth with the right-handed hitter Iannetta up. The only man in the vicinity was Scott Feldman.
A bunt and a good one on the third base side. Feldman with the play, and he's late. Eric Ibar has a bunt single, his second hit of the afternoon. He's aboard with 2 outs for the second baseman, Johnny Giavotella.
And some of you at home may be thinking that they're picking on Scott Feldman, but this was picking on Luis Valbuena. The bat out there early. I'm not sure why Valbuena didn't bite and maybe charge a little bit earlier, but for whatever reason stayed back a little bit. And Ibar, noticing that, went ahead and laid down a pretty good bunt.
So 2 outs. Giavotella has grounded out and drawn a walk and scored the 3rd run after walking in the 5th inning.
Got an interesting note here too, Ash. Eric Ibar is the active leader with 95 bunt hits.
Huh.
That's quite a few.
He's aboard, held on by Carter at first base. As Feldman brings a strike. You know, Giavotella, I could see as a guy you wouldn't mind having lead off an inning. Therefore, I wouldn't be at all surprised if Ibar were to be running in this sequence somewhere.
Take a shot.
Little chopper. 0-2 the count. In the 6th inning. And Garrett Richards, with his great stuff, has not yielded a hit through 6 innings to the Astros. There were 5 no-hitters in Major League Baseball last year, as this one gets on by Castro. And into second base, scoring position, goes Eric Ibar.
Castro with no chance on this pitch.
It's a wild pitch. And the second one on the afternoon now for Scott Feldman. He uncorked a wild pitch in that 3-run 5th inning for the Angels. One and 2 the count. Well, that breaking ball was about, that's in that 55-foot range or so.
Was further out in front than the last one.
Well, it's starting to look like maybe the good stuff is getting away from Scott Feldman, despite the fact that he gets a couple of ground balls just weakly hit to start the inning. Two and 2 the count. And a ground ball back to the mound. Feldman makes the play, and that'll do it. 3 ground ball outs in the 6th inning. They leave a man at second. 3-0 Halos.
tough at times, but you were always there for us growing up, taking us to all the games, always supporting us, and we love you. Thanks so much. Happy Mother's Day.
There you go. 3-0 Angels on this Mother's Day. Gorgeous day in Southern California. And we continue to take every opportunity to wish the moms a happy Mother's Day. Bring the Astros bats some luck here today. 3-4-5 coming up for Houston here in the 7th inning.
Chris Iannetta caught the last no-hitter for the Angels when Jared Weaver threw it back in 2012.
So Chris Iannetta back in there today. Mike Scioscia, by the way, the manager of the LA Angels, caught a pair of no-hitters. I couldn't have told you that. He caught Fernando Valenzuela in 1990 and Kevin Gross in 92.
I didn't know that either.
That's pretty good stuff.
Before Twitter.
Fernando, 1990.
That was in the latter part.
Now that
of
would
his
have,
career.
yeah, that would have been 10 years in or so, right?
Yeah.
Ash, I have a question for you.
Yeah,
you caught 3 no-hitters.
I
Ken
did.
Forsch, Nolan, and of course
Mike
Scotty.
Scott. Yeah.
The best stuff in those 3 no-hitters. Who had the best stuff of those 3?
Yeah, it's always an intriguing question. I would have to say the most important no-hitter I caught was, and that's not your question, was Nolan Ryan's record-breaking 5th. Mike Scott's stuff in the 86 no-hitter that shut down the Giants and clinched the division was pretty darn impressive. And but yeah, it's really hard to separate no-hitters. I'd probably have to kind of go with the pair, Nolan and Mike Scott.
Yeah.
Just really great stuff. Of course, Ken Forsch, his no-hitter was no chop liver either, as we get the leadoff walk to Valbuena.
Wasn't that his first start of the season?
It was. It was the first week of the season at the Astrodome against the Atlanta Braves, who left town with not many hits after facing J.R. Richard, Joe Niekro. It might have been a 4-game series, actually.
Scotty's no-hitter, too, that was at the end of a string. I think Deshays threw, a 2-hitter, Nolan threw a 1-hitter, and then they came back with Scotty with a no-hitter against the Giants.
It was an amazing string of pitching for the Astros.
10 no-hitters for a franchise. It's pretty heady stuff.
Yeah.
You caught 30% of them. Had the best seat in the house.
How about that? It was a very good seat. I paid very little for that seat other than the cost of my fingers through the years. But chance for a couple of more. 1 out in the 9th inning with Nolan, 2 outs with Mike Scott, and they got away, but just a great blessing in my life, no question. Chris Carter at the plate. And the Astros still looking for that first hit. It's 1 ball and 1 strike.
As Richards is throwing a no-hitter and getting squeezed a little bit on some of these pitches. Looks like it's catching part of the zone, but
you're right.
Seems to be a disappearing corner every now and then.
So the theme right now is talking about no-hitters a little bit.
It's okay for us to do that, right?
Yeah, it's perfectly okay.
We haven't blown it by now.
Yeah. Until we gain some superpowers, we're just not going to have anything to do with what goes on down there on the field. 5 no-hitters last year. The first of which was thrown by a guy who's no longer pitching. Do you recall who that was? With the Dodgers, right-handed veteran who has walked away from the game. Houstonian.
Came over Beckett.
Josh Beckett.
Wow.
I thought Kevin might jump in with that one.
Spring high school.
Yeah. Yeah, he threw the first of the 5 last year.
I had forgotten about that.
Yeah, that 6-0 victory over the Phillies. Drew Butera was the catcher in that one. Intriguingly, Drew Butera was on the opening day roster of these Angels this year and has since been sent. Well, I guess he's actually gone elsewhere. He was,
I think he's in Kansas City.
Yeah, picked up recently in a deal with somebody else. But a very fine young catcher. The second of those no-hitters last year was thrown by Beckett's teammate, the left-hander, and eventual Cy Young Award winner.
Give me a chance. I'll come up with it.
It's Clayton Kershaw.
Oh,
because
that guy.
I see you already writing it down. You're just playing with me.
I thought it was Ryu.
Yeah, that might go back a ways. The 3-2 pitch. Fouled back. Jeff Blum climbing the rafters right there. Now we've got a note here. Fernando Valenzuela's no-hitter came on the same day as Dave Stewart's no-hitter for the Oakland A's, June 29th of 1990. Huh.
Baseball is weird.
How many different days have seen multiple no-hitters in the major leagues?
Oh, boy. Get right back to you. Call my guy.
I see you immediately typing in on the computer there, and I'm not sure what you typed for that question, but go get it.
Yes, Baker standing in his way.
So we've got the walk now of Carter, back-to-back walks. Here's Nolan Ryan's final out of his no-hitter, the record-breaking 5th. That took him by Sandy Koufax. And for me, that was remarkable because I grew up in the LA area and had seen 2 of the no-hitters of Sandy Koufax. Mike Scott. That stuff moved a little bit.
You kidding me?
You think that stuff was easy to handle?
Like a wiffle ball coming up there.
By the way, Mike and Vicky Scott, his wife, were out at the ball game last night, and I had contact with them. There's Will Clark, who grounds out the only fat pitch I think Scotty threw the entire ball game, right down the middle to Will Clark, and he rolled over it, hit a ground ball to first base, and the celebration ensued. And that wasn't just a no-hitter celebration. That was clinching the division. And what a time that was.
That would be awesome.
Great stuff.
Yeah, you look back, the numbers are crazy with Nolan. Was he 27 one-hitters or something just absolutely off the charts with that? The one he had against, was it the Phillies, Ash, when Mike Schmidt got the hit in the 9th inning and broke it up? I think he ended up getting a no decision in that ballgame.
Did he?
He shook off Ash in that one.
Wait a minute now. Go easy with your stories. That could be the truth, but yeah. Yeah, well, tell you what, Nolan had the right to call any pitch he wanted at any point, and Mike Schmidt kind of fisted one into center field for a base hit with 1 out in the 9th inning to break that one up. Strike is called on Rasmus. It's 1-1, and the crowd getting a little antsy here in Anaheim. Back-to-back walks of Valbuena and Carter.
You know, Blummer, also Nolan, talk about lack of run support. I think he won an ERA title, Ash. Remember the one year he won the ERA title, and his record was 8-16 or something like that?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, he had a great year. The Astros, for whatever reason, just didn't hit for him. And it was an aggravating year for all involved. The Angels now have a right-hander, Salas, throwing in their bullpen. Fernando Salas. One and 2 the count on Colby Rasmus. Richards is flat bringing it.
Do you remember the pitch counts in any of those no-hitters that you did catch?
Not even a topic in those days.
Exactly.
Right.
That's what gets lost in the shuffle these days. You hear about a guy carrying a no-hitter into the 7th inning, and immediately you go to the pitch count.
Right. And that pitch count is 96 right now. And it's going to get dicey. That goes flying as the ball is fouled off. There's one you don't see often. The foul ball with the bat toss.
It's impressive. Takes talent. Pretty good helicopter job down there past first base coach.
What do you think? I mean, with 97 pitches, nobody out here in the 7th inning, does Garrett Richards have a prayer of getting in a 9-inning shot at a no-no?
No chance. And just to note, it was 98 feet on the bat toss. But I don't think there's any chance that he goes. They may give him to 110 pitches, but I do not believe that if he had the no-hitter going, he would be able to finish it off.
They have had a meeting at the mound. It's 2-2 on Colby Rasmus. ...113 pitches, the most that Garrett Richards has thrown this year. And now he has struck out Rasmus, out number 1 here in the 7th inning. 9 strikeouts. That'll bring up Jason Castro.
And on that note, the LA Angels of Anaheim have had 2 combined no-hitters.
Who started those 2?
Mark Langston started the first one, combined with Mike Witt versus Seattle, April 11th, 1990. And Jared Weaver and Jose Arredondo did it against L.A. and lost the game in 2008.
So was that an 8-inning job
It's an
in
unofficial no-hitter, yeah. 8-inning unofficial no-hitter.
Why unofficial?
Because it was only 8 innings, I'm guessing. Because that's the asterisk right here, says 8-inning unofficial no-hitter.
Castro with a strike on him. It's a great photo of Nolan Ryan here in the media guide for the Angels. Who was that? Elrod Hendricks, the catcher there?
Hey, Mark Langston. There he is doing some radio for the Los Angeles Angels.
What a great guy.
Ellie Rodriguez. Nolan Ryan.
Ball and a strike. And now 1-2. Yeah, this gets intriguing now with Garrett Richards. 101 pitches. No, that's a hanging breaking ball right there, and I'm really wondering how much that squint factor is playing in on the hitters right now.
Well, it's probably a combination of that. Garrett Richards is throwing 96, so you know when you're gearing up for 96 and you get something hanging, you might be a little overexcited and maybe swing a little too quickly.
Castro gets a piece. You and I were the blue-eyed guys that probably squinted as much as anybody on days like this.
There's a guy that used to play here that could not play day games.
Well, he's gotten out of here. Apparently the sun shines brighter here than it does in Arlington, so that's right.
We'll let you come to that conclusion at home.
That's right.
That was a big deal.
He had a doctor backing him. Of course, I guess you can find a doctor to back about anything. The 1-2.
Tell you what, one mistake right here from Garrett Richards. See Castro get a hold of one, tie this thing up.
I am sure Garrett Richards is extremely intense right about now. But there's one other guy, Chris Iannetta, the catcher. I can speak from experience that you just get so involved in the possibility. Line drive, base hit. That breaks it up. They're going to hold the runner at third base, so the bases are loaded, and Jason Castro takes all the pressure off now. It's still a 3-0 Angels lead, but there's the first hit of the afternoon.
You know who took the pressure off of is Mike Scioscia. Now he can go to his bullpen if he needs to.
That's exactly right.
Good piece of hitting. There's that backdoor breaking ball he tried to get on Jason Castro. Stays on it nicely. Shoves it out there to left field to break up this no-hit bid by Garrett Richards. And now the bases are juiced.
And now probably for Mike Scioscia, he's looking at trying to get Richards through the 7th inning and really nothing more at this point.
Put a lot of pitches in this inning so far. 24?
24 pitches this inning and 20 in the previous inning, the 6th. Up until then, he had been quite tidy.
Pretty smooth.
So the bases are juiced. Can the Astros get back in this ball game? Trailing 3-0. Infield playing back for the double play with 1 out. And Marwin takes a strike and doesn't like that call.
Well, I'll tell you what, we are in the inning. It's usually from that 7th inning on where the Astros start putting up numbers. We've talked about it on this road trip, how electric this offense can be late in games. That was some major disapproval from Marwin Gonzalez.
Yes, it was. Yeah, you bring up the big point. This Astros team is a lot about the 7th inning on this year. And now 0-2 the count. The Astros 12-3 on the road. And in the 7th inning or later on the road, the Astros have scored 42 runs.
Trying to add to that total.
So that's 15 games to work with and 42 runs from the 7th on. And that one, did it hit him? Apparently not.
I would have been limping around.
How did that miss Marwin?
Got to go for the Oscar right there. Pretty good job of knocking it down by Iannetta, too.
No kidding. Right over the top with that breaking ball. You know, that's a perfect example of what the breaking ball does when it hits the ground. It comes all the way back toward the catcher. That's why you have to close off on either side when you're blocking pitches. 1-2 the count. And down on strike. So Marwin goes down swinging and has a parting stare for the home plate umpire. That's 2 outs, 10 strikeouts for Richards. And now in the hands of Preston Tucker.
It'd be a lot of fun to talk about his first home run being a grand slam, huh?
Wouldn't it? Right here, that opportunity. And not only that, but to get the Astros back in this ball game. 0 for 1, a strikeout and a walk. And that fastball kind of eats him up.
Preston setting him up with that swing.
Maybe. Always want to get in the head of a guy. And what is Tucker thinking on this day? Is he thinking that maybe he's seeing better stuff here this afternoon than he has seen at any point?
I would say so. We saw this last year from Garrett Richards. This is vintage for us.
That fastball hits him, and it's an RBI for Preston Tucker the hard way. And the Astros get on the board. It's now 3-1. And the tying run is at second base, scoring position.
That's not going to feel good, but at the end of the day, you got the RBI out of it. You may have knocked Garrett Richards out of there. Astros trying to figure out who to send to the plate. Looks like Evan Gattis is getting a helmet on and going to the on-deck circle.
So Evan Gattis has grabbed a bat. He's coming out, and he will bat in the Robbie Grossman spot. That's the 9 spot for Houston. The bases are still juiced. So it's going to come down here in the 7th inning to Evan Gattis, and a big at bat against Garrett Richards. And now Mike Scioscia is going to change all of that. So the skip comes out to the mound, and the fans in Anaheim applauding and coming to their feet, as that'll do it for the day's work of Garrett Richards. He'll leave having yielded just 1 hit and 1 run. The 3 runners belong to him. He leaves with a 3-1 lead here in the 7th inning.
At Bat is up to the moment at any moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com At Bat for your smartphone or tablet.
Is that all you got?
That's all I got. Trying to fix my monitor. Please hold.
Fernando Salas, the right-hander, coming in now. He'll face Evan Gattis, the pinch hitter, here in the 7th inning. 2 outs, bases juiced, a run in. 3-1 Houston, or make that 3-1 Angels, excuse me. Carter at third, Castro at second, Tucker at first. Salas set to work it, and from the stretch, the pitch popped up. Shallow in right field, Giavotella battling the sun and makes the catch. One pitch to Evan Gattis, and he pops out, and that does it. 7 come to the plate, 1 score. It's now 3-1 Angels, and we stay here for God Bless America.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise and remove your caps. Prior to singing Take Me Out to the Ball Game, please join Lindsay Ridgway in singing God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, our home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home.
And it's that young man for the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, Garrett Richards, had all of his stuff working today, and it was quite nasty. Topped out about 97, 98 miles an hour with his fastball and his cut fastball. Astro hitters having a tough time adjusting to the velocity as well as the movement he created. Had a good hard breaking ball down in the zone. Got himself quite a few swing and misses, 10 to be exact. Left this ball game with 3 runners on base. Upset about having those guys on base and having to come out of that game, but Fernando Salas picked him up. Pretty solid line from the young man.
Yeah, that doesn't hurt to have Albert Pujols walk over and give you the bear hug and let you know that what you've done is exactly what the club needs. And now Scott Feldman goes out to the mound once again as he'll work in the 7th inning, facing the 8, 9, and 1 hitters. C.J. Cron hammers one to left field and back to make the play nicely in left field.
Jonathan Villar.
There's Jonathan Villar out there defensively.
Pretty good rip by Cron. You'd see Jonathan Villar with the karaoke move, spinning those hips around to make the play. He's out there for Robbie Grossman, who started out there in left field.
So Cron takes one pitch to fly out as Chris Iannetta stands in. He fouls it back. Kevin, checking in with you again.
Yeah, I shortchanged Nolan by 3. I said he had 27, either 1 or 2 hitters. He had 30.
Oh dear.
How about that? 12 1-hitters and 18 2-hitters in his career, and that's 9 innings.
Don't ever shortchange Nolan Ryan, okay? Pitch fouled back. Chris Iannetta maybe had the big swing of this ballgame. That little dribbler up the third base line in the 5th inning. Bases were loaded. A near impossible play for Scott Feldman. He tried to make it to the plate, threw it away. A couple of runs scored, and the Angels wound up with 3 in that inning. And now Iannetta down on strikes. Second out here in the 7th inning. That's 5 strikeouts for Scott Feldman.
That big breaking ball working today to Scott Feldman. Velocity right in the mid-70s. Nothing too exciting. The hitter sees it for quite a while, then it just bites out of the zone.
And the Angels have a right-hander. Is that Joe Smith throwing in their pen?
Yeah, just some guy. Joe Smith. We'll give him a name.
Cole Calhoun at the plate. Calhoun 0 for 2 on the day. Had a sac fly, so he drove in one of the 3 Angels runs. Hitting .296. Good player. And an everyday fixture in right field now for the Angels. Fouls it straight back. Josh Fields now getting loose, along with Kevin Chapman. So righty and lefty up in the Astros pen. Garrett Richards took a no-hitter. 1 out into the 7th inning before Jason Castro broke it up. Just lined one nicely into left field. Broken bat. Little slow roller. Carter makes the play. And that'll do it. A 1-2-3 7th inning. A strong frame for Scott Feldman. We'll see if he comes back out. It's 3-1 Angels.
Post your pictures with Orbit on social media and tag the Astros and your cable or satellite provider. And don't forget to use the hashtag #WhereIsOrbit. Head to astros.com/whereIsOrbit for more information. Yes, I did it.
That propels us into the 8th inning. 3-1 Angels on top.
There's going to be some runs scored now.
From what I hear, they're going to give you a dinner on the plane now as soon as you get on.
Lucky me.
Right-hander Joe Smith comes on to work the 8th inning. Astros still with work to do. Top of the order, Marisnick, Altuve, and Valbuena against the right-hander.
He worked a scoreless inning in each of his last 2 appearances. That was on Wednesday and Thursday nights. Last time out there was on the 7th against Houston. Inning pitch, 1 hit, 1 strikeout.
On the season, 16 hits allowed in 13 innings. And he's allowed the 5 earned runs. He's had a lot of base runners against him. Over 1.5 per inning. The Astros would like to do the same here in this 8th inning. Jake Marisnick trying to get it started. 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. And he's drawn a walk.
Latter part of the bullpen for Mike Scioscia has had its struggles here in recent days. Blew a save the night before the Astros came in. Then that first night of the series blew that lead.
Houston Street in back-to-back nights. And you wonder, do the Angels have a question mark now as to who their closer might be?
I don't think so.
No?
Not yet. I wouldn't try and go out there and do that any more than they already have.
Ground ball to shortstop. Ibar with the play. He gets Marisnick out number 1. With 1 out, it brings up Jose Altuve looking for that first knock of the afternoon. He's 0 for 3. And that 3rd at bat, rather intriguing as he actually hit a bounced pitch and grounded out to first base. Joe Smith, by the way, had 15 saves for the Angels last year. Hot shot is fouled down the third base side. In fact, in 4 consecutive seasons now, Smith has pitched in more than 70 games. 3 of those years with the Indians. So he's been a workhorse. Altuve hitting exactly at the batting title figure from last year at 341. Leads the American League with his hits total. 45 hits already. Game 32 here this afternoon. And a 1-2 count. 11 stolen bases to lead the league. He also leads in the dubious category. He's been thrown out 4 times. Soft looper, but getting back to make the play. Ibar, 2 down in the 8th. So Altuve 0 for 4 on the day. It brings up Luis Valbuena. He has walked and scored in 3 plate appearances.
It's funny to watch the routine of guys throughout the course of the season. They have their, special pair of shoes they're rolling with, the style they like. Earlier in the game, Valbuena was wearing the pink shoes from New Balance, I believe, and now he's gone back to the original orange that he normally wears on a standard day.
Some guys cannot break up the routine.
Man,
unless
game of adjustments,
you get a double that first at bat, then everything's cool, but otherwise no chance.
As I say, the way things were going, well, even now with 1 hit on the board, they were going to auction off some pink bats that were unblemished.
Did you play with guys that had to keep their bats separate from the rest? Line shot off of Smith. He knocks it down and will get up and get the out. Apparently that line drive hitting the glove of Joe Smith, and very fortunate for him in that regard. A 1-2-3 8th inning. Angels lead it 3-1.
features a pregame wine tasting and a wine stopper giveaway to the first 500 fans at the event. Partial proceeds will benefit breast cancer research at Houston Methodist Cancer Center. For tickets, visit astros.com/Grape Escape, or you can call them at 1-877-9-ASTROS. Guys, these pink bats, by the way, they're going to be auctioned off. Game-use pink bats will be auctioned off by Major League Baseball for breast cancer research as well.
Not a bad little prize to come away with. Here for the Angels in the 8th inning, Mike Trout leads off, followed by Pujols and Joyce. As Josh Fields comes on, pitcher number 2 on the afternoon. Strong day for Feldman.
Really did pitch well. Josh Fields has been pitching well too. In his 5 innings, he's got 9 punch-outs. He actually has more strikeouts than base runners allowed.
Ooh, that's a good stat. He's got a whip right at 1 too, and so his strikeout totals, I could see him being a guy who gets well over 1 per inning.
Great heater, mid to upper 90s. He's got a hammer of a breaking ball and occasional changeup.
Started using that changeup in the second half last year effectively. Haven't seen a whole lot yet this year, but still young in the season. His 6th outing. Blow the heater right by a major league hitter.
In a fastball count.
Yes. Two balls and a strike on Mike Trout. Trout is 1 for 3 on the day. Close.
Can't get much closer, can you?
No, you can't.
Wow.
Garrett Richards got kind of squeezed a little bit with some pitches similar. Maybe up in the strike zone a bit. And ball 4, leadoff walk to Trout.
Just like we promised earlier in the game, it's Miller time, and it's brought to you by Miller Lite. Luis Valbuena, he's been throwing leather all over this ballpark and doing a great job at it too, as well as the Astros defense. Carter, of all people, laying out big time to pick up the big man and Scott Feldman. See him getting some glove love right there. It's good to see these Astros pitchers have been around the strike zone, so if you're playing on defense and you got a guy throwing a lot of strikes, you can be on your toes on defense, ready to react to anything, and this defense has really picked up Astro pitching.
First pitch fouled off by Pujols. He's 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Wound up striking out to end that 3-run 5th inning. Got a couple of hanging curveballs from Scott Feldman and swung right through him for strikes 2 and 3.
It was almost as if he was doing it on purpose. It's crazy to watch that sequence.
That fastball blown by 0-2 the count. At what point does a hitter begin to feel like, you know, maybe I've seen my best days?
Don't ask me.
Well, it's hard to actually kind of come to grips with, I think, as a player.
Well, especially when you're putting up numbers at an outrageous rate like Albert Pujols has. I mean, he's got milestones still coming to him, but like you said, the pace has slowed down quite a bit.
Phenomenal career, but he's got a lot left on that contract now with the Angels.
Really does. 6 more years.
6 more years is correct.
Some of these fastballs are leaking up and in on that arm side from Josh Fields, and that's not comfortable as a right-handed hitter.
This is year 4 of the 10-year deal. And you know the Angels have to be sitting back watching and thinking, wow, it could get a little tough toward the end of this contract.
Be interesting to really read that thing and see if there's any outs in that contract for either the team or the player.
525 career dingers. Over 600, or rather 1,600 RBIs.
Jeez. I would imagine the talk, and these upcoming years is how long are you going to let him go out there and play first base? Eventually, you got to cut down on the legs and just let him DH, because you're paying him for the bat. You're not paying him for the defense.
Yeah, I wonder how much of that comes down to Albert. Does he say, I'd rather play first base than DH? And then how do you deal with that? You know, he's only a couple of stolen bases shy of 100 for his career.
Nice.
The 1-2. .465 hits, shy of 3,000. Of course, he doesn't have to worry about 3,000. He's a Hall of Famer 5 years after he retires.
I agree.
But that's one of those marks that everybody with a shot would love to get there, but he's down on strikes. Again on the breaking ball, so back-to-back at-bats for Pujols. Out number 1 here in the 8th. Matt Joyce. Cleanup man 0 for 3 on the day. Mike Trout still at first base. You wonder now, does Trout find himself on the move?
I was a little curious to see him not running with Albert up there.
Trout is 7 for 7 in stolen bases this year.
Counts for almost 3/4 of the Angels' stolen bases.
Yeah, they simply don't run. As a team, 11 bags, caught 8 times. There he goes. Pitches high, the throw down. A good one, and they got him. Perfectly done by Jason Castro, and got a great pitch to be able to throw on.
It's like a little bit of a mini pitch out from Josh Fields. Not the best jumps from Mike Trout, but a great exchange by Castro. Ball there, plenty of time.
So Castro, or rather Trout, has finally been caught this year. 7 of 8 tries now. That's 2 down. And the strike is called. It's 1-1.
I love that Marwin Gonzalez was straddling the bag right there. Let the ball travel, catch it, just drop the tag on the base runner. That was perfect.
All the way back to the bag whenever possible, yeah.
Yep.
Pitch popped up, shallow in right center field. Marwin calling, battling Son, and makes the catch. That'll do it. So only 3 hitters come to the plate despite the walk. And now we go to the 9th inning. The Astros down by a pair. It's 3-1 Angels. Inning, 4th pitcher of the afternoon on now for the Angels. Their closer, Houston Street, will take over here in the 9th.
Take a look at what Houston's done on the season. 13th appearance. Haven't seen him in a couple days. He had a rough stretch. We already talked about it. Back-to-back blown saves. Took the loss on Thursday versus Houston. Threw quite a few pitches in those appearances, too. That's Well, he's got those days off. Fastball, slider, change. Still pretty effective as a closer. That whip a little bit high. See if the Astros can take advantage of him again. Got a decent part of their order coming up in Carter, Rasmus, and Castro.
4, 5, 6 coming up for the Astros. So Carter has reached one time today. Drew a walk in the 7th inning right on the heels of Valbuena drawing a walk. Valbuena came around and scored the only Houston run of the day. It was that 7th inning that saw Jason Castro get a base hit with 1 out. The only Houston hit on the day. Garrett Richards very strong on his day's work. Finished with 10 strikeouts. And now it comes down to this. The Astros would love to get out of town going 3-1. The Angels trying to balance the scales and make it a 2-2 series. As Houston Street brings the first pitch, a strike. Oh, and 1 the count.
Chris had one of those hits in that inning when Houston Street gave it up. Like to repeat the favor, get on base. Might be a possible pinch runner situation.
One ball and 1 strike to Carter as he takes high. Trying to get something rolling with Rasmus and Castro to follow. Shift on, 3 infielders on the left side, so Carter has a wide open right side to shoot at. And fouls it back to the screen.
Largest comeback of the season for the Houston Astros is 3. Down by 2 here in the top of the 9th.
Just 1 Houston hit on the day. The Astros have been 1 hit 1 other time this year. Carter fouls it back just below us. It was April 9th against the Indians. Trevor Bauer went to the hill and worked 6 innings of no-hit baseball. His bullpen took over. 3 pitchers later, the Astros had picked up just 1 hit against the final pitcher, Nick Hagedorn. And so if they fail to get another hit here this afternoon, it would be the 2nd time they've been 1 hit this year. And that's out number 1. Carter has his 2nd strikeout of the day. "11 strikeouts of Houston hitters. With 1 out, it brings up Colby Rasmus. He's picked up a couple of the punch outs. 0 for 3 on the day. Colby takes outside. Again, that shift on and just away. There've been some very tight corners here this afternoon.
Really have been.
Some pitches that have actually found a piece of the corner have been called balls. That went away.
It's pretty good movement, but it's deceptive with Iannetta. Good small target back there. Doesn't move the glove much when he makes the catch.
Bat starts, but he holds it back, and the appeal goes down to 3rd. Rob Drake says the bat went through, so it's 2-1.
The pitch alone might have been a strike.
Street brings it. Hit high in the air. Shallow in left center field. It's the shortstop Ibar. Tough play with that shift on. He had a long ways to go, but makes the play. So 2 outs here in the 9th inning. Houston Astros baseball on Root Sports is presented by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by Big Time Bats. Craig Biggio, Louisville Slugger Hall of Fame bat, is now available. Call Big Time Bats at 866-490-BATS or see it at BigTimeBats.com. 2 outs, base is empty. So the Astros down to an out. Jason Castro at the plate is 1 for 3.
Time for some 2-out lightning for the Astros.
Yeah, it's required right about now, isn't it? If Castro reaches, Marwin Gonzalez follows. And then it would be Jonathan VR. Ground ball to the right side. This is going to do it. Giovatello with the play. And a 1-2-3 ninth inning. So the Astros go down quietly in the ninth as the Angels win it 3-1 to split the series 2 games apiece.